Albertans are used to smoke in the summer, largely coming from barbecues like the one behind me. But coming up, we'll tell you what they've been doing to deal with the fallout from BC and what is being referred to as the wildfire wheeze.
I'm Michael Lumsden in Calgary, and I have exclusive behind-the-scenes access with the Calgary Police Service as they try to keep up with the sheer number of calls going through their switchboards on a day-to-day basis.
I'm Carly Robinson in Edmonton, live at the University of Alberta, where students are back to school tomorrow. Coming up later in the show, I spoke to one student about how she overcame her struggles with mental illness. That story and more on this first ever City News Edmonton at 6.
You can excuse some Edmontonians if they feel compelled to throw in the white towel, or at the very least, use it to cover their mouth during what's been a very smoky summer here in our city. The fires in BC bringing that smoke up to northern Alberta, and many people developing a case of what's being referred to as the wildfire wheeze. Nathan has been battling a bit of a cough all summer long. His dad, Randy, suspects it is due to those smoky skies, and he's taken steps to address it.
Dehumidifiers and stuff like that, or keeping the windows closed, but unfortunately it's been so hot at the same time that with the window closed, it's more of a suffering. Nathan isn't alone, though. The sepia-tinged skyline might look like an Instagram filter, but this very real haze has spurred an uptick in health issues. As a result, Alberta Health Services has issued regular air quality advisories, often reaching high-risk levels. Children, seniors, and those with lung conditions are the most at risk. Many will suffer from irritation of the eyes and the throat, as well as a shortness of breath, and in extreme cases, less oxygen will flow to the heart, which could have dire consequences for those with heart conditions. Some residents will turn to dust masks and towels to cover their faces, but finer particle matter from wildfires can still make it past those defenses. Instead, when the skies turn ashen, AHS recommends people limit their outdoor exposure, keep windows closed, use quality air filters where possible, and most importantly, keep hydrated. And if you have any concerns, monitor the AHS and air quality websites. But if you feel your health taking a drastic turn, you're encouraged to either contact the HealthLink line or to head directly to the ER. As for Nathan, his dad says the haze won't stop him from being a kid. All told, it just means being a little bit more smoke smart. He usually just stays in the house now, and he might get the periodic time on the trampoline or something like that, but we have to regulate it. Now, despite the blue skies over Edmonton today, we are still actually dealing with a 3 when it comes to the Air Quality Health Index, and it is expected that the roller coaster is going to continue for the next few weeks, as there does not appear to be an end in sight just yet for those wildfires in British Columbia. Reporting in Edmonton, Courtney Theriault, City News.
Well, here at the University of Alberta, there have been orientation groups all day. It's quieted down a bit, but for these first-year students, this year is going to either be one of discovery, but for some, it may bring problems with mental health. I'm Carly Robinson at the University of Alberta, where first-year students are settling in, getting ready and orientated for classes that start tomorrow. For some, this is going to be a great year full of new discoveries, but for others, this may bring their first run-in with mental health problems.
That first year was really rough.
Alexandra San Diego remembers the struggles of her first year too well, when she was diagnosed with depression and anxiety issues.
And I feel like if I hadn't had the courage to go out, to find help and someone to talk to about that with, I really don't know how that year would have ended. I don't know if I would have done as well as I did in school.
Her story is all too common. The stress of change often leads to mental health problems manifesting in first year.
You're going through a lot of big changes, a lot of big transitions there. You're in a new place. You don't really know where things are. You're getting lost, physically, and you don't know as many people as you did back in high school.
The recent grad is now helping others. She volunteers for jack.org, talking to students before they get to university about how they can take care of their mental health.
I would say, first of all, be your own advocate. So what that means is, recognizing that there's a lot of changes, a lot of transitions coming your way, and to just prepare for those.
At the U of A, mental health numbers are up as more students reach out for help. This is something San Diego credits to a declining stigma around mental illness.
Everyone has mental health, just like everyone has physical health, and if you don't take care of it, if you get injured in some way and you're not taking care of that injury, then your mental health is going to suffer and you could become diagnosed with mental illness.
Now, there are some things students can do to put their best foot forward. One recommendation is to join a club and develop a social circle that will support you if the going gets tough. And for parents, if you have a student heading off to university, really just keep in contact with them and talk to them about mental health and have regular check-ins. In Edmonton, Carly Robinson, City News. Now, one thing that experts recommend for students starting out here on campus is to actually join a club and just get involved with university life. That way you'll have a support system if the going ever does get tough. And now for parents who are sending their children off to school, they just need to just keep that line of communication open with their students so that they know they're being supported. In Edmonton, Carly Robinson, City News.
This Labor Day long weekend meant extra time on the roads for drivers in Edmonton. The Tour of Alberta's 4-day bike race went on today and had drivers frustrated.
It's a little crazy today than it usually is.
This year's Tour of Alberta kicked off on Friday, and with it came multiple road closures across Edmonton. Unsuspecting drivers like Patricia Cisse say this caused some delays driving into downtown this morning.
Because I have to kind of find my way around, and I didn't know that they were going to block some parts of the road, right? So
the intersection at Grote Road and 111 Avenue was just one of many where police were stationed, redirecting traffic because of the race. Parking restrictions downtown were in full effect and spots were extremely limited along the race course. Cisse says finding parking was the easy part. It's getting home that she's more concerned about.
hopefully I have enough time to find my way around.
It's differently.
They're asking for the public's help.
It's expected to stick around until 5 p.m. and then the roads that were impacted by the race are expected to open up by 7 tonight.
The family of a murdered Aboriginal woman whose remains were found in 2012 in Leduc are now asking for the public's help. Today they issued a reward for any tips that might lead to her killer's arrest. It's been 5 years since the remains of 20-year-old Amber Tuckarow were found, and since then there's been no arrests. She was last seen on August 18, 2010. 2 years later, RCMP released a cell phone conversation involving Amber and an unknown man. Days later, on September 1st, 2012, her body was found by horseback riders on a rural property in Leduc country. Now, Amber's family is in Edmonton right now. They're here to attend the National Enquirer community hearings. Now, I spoke with Amber's brother. He says he's not confident going into those hearings. I'll have more of an update tonight at 11. Remember, City News is your news in Edmonton, and we want to hear from you. Hear how? You can reach us if you have a story to share or if your video or pictures on news is in the making. So you be the news director and tell us what stories you should like us to cover, and we'll follow up.
They just punch you up. I feel sick.
Into the number of cases involving missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. And those in charge say they need more time.
Proper not working?
It's working now. On this Labor Day, 3 local groups were serving up more than hamburgers at an annual barbecue. The Edmonton and District Labor Council was joined by health and poverty advocates calling for a universal drug plan. The group says 1 in 5 Alberta households face financial barriers in accessing necessary prescriptions. This pharmacare proposal would apply to all Canadians, but the purpose is to help unemployed or underemployed people from having to make difficult decisions.